What is that? Okay, never mind. I know what that is. Let me make sure my turtleneck is properly turtled. There we are. You know how you always come here looking for stylish appetizers that wow a crowd, over-deliver on deliciousness, and can be made well ahead? I know you do, and today we're showing you another, but it's not just any other kind of appetizer. I have to declare, I think this one is the one to top all of them. Today I'm gonna show you a fantastic, easy, cheesy appetizer that's perfect for your Christmas cocktail party. It can be made in advance, but the best part is it takes literally a minute to come together and it uses up your leftovers. You're gonna wanna stick around. Hello friends, I'm Erin, the founder and chief sommelier here at the Wine Sisters. Welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the place where we show you how to eat, drink, and entertain like a pro with the very best tips we've learned over the last 15 years of being a sommelier services company. If you are returning, well, welcome back. It's so great to see your faces. And if you have just come across our YouTube channel, well, welcome to you too. I hope you'll consider hitting subscribe and sticking around for a while because we do have a lot of fun here. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a fromage fort. Fromage fort is a French appetizer that uses up all those bits and bobs, those leftover bits of cheese that you have in your fridge, and probably at this time of year you have a lot left over from those dinner parties you've been hosting all month long, and it puts them to really good use. Now, this is kind of a no recipe. It's largely dependent on literally what you've got left over and dependent on your taste. Now, today I'm going to show you how we're going to put it together in 1 minute. I have a little bit of leftover Parmesan, some Gruyere, a little bit of old cheddar, and a triple creme cheese as well. But you will use whatever you've got in your fridge and you will use it according to your taste. So I'm going to dive right in and start getting it into our food processor. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this in the living room, it's because I love my Christmas tree. Don't you? How often do you get to stand in front of a Christmas tree and make fromage fort? Not very often. Now, fromage fort is who knows really how old it is? It certainly dates back decades, if not centuries. I first learned about it when I was working at a swanky restaurant downtown Toronto. And there was occasional times when the kitchen would give the leftover cheese of the day to the team, to the staff. And the servers would descend on that board like they hadn't eaten in a month. But there was one waiter there, a very distinguished older gentleman who came from Paris. His name was Roger, and he would take his portion of cheese and put it in a little cup with some butter and beat it like crazy until it became this creamy spread, spread it on bread, and eat it like that. And that, my friends, was fromage fort, my first introduction to it. Now, fromage fort typically, like I just said, is a mixture of whatever cheeses you've got in your fridge with a little bit of white wine, some garlic, perhaps some pepper, maybe some herbs. So I'm going to use here, like I said, Gruyere, Parmesan, and a little bit of cheddar. Because these are the harder cheeses, I'm going to get those pulsed into a fine, sort of pebbly-like sand. So I'm just gonna give this a couple of pulses. Very loud. Yes, so it's about that consistency that I want. You can probably see it's got that sort of coarser, granular texture. And now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add in my brie cheese, or my triple creme, I should say. I didn't want to add it right from the beginning because of course triple creme has more of a softer consistency, so I just wanted to grind up the harder cheeses first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this food processor once again, and I'm going to add in a little bit of white wine and some garlic and some pepper. Now, this is where your taste comes into effect. Fromage fort, it's kind of like a cheese pate in the sense that you can make it as smooth as you'd like or as rough and coarse as you'd like. It's entirely up to you. I like mine somewhere in the middle, so I'll have to see how the consistency goes and add my white wine as I see fit. Also, most fromage fort recipes call for raw garlic. I don't do super well with raw garlic, especially if I'm trying to snuggle under the mistletoe with somebody. I feel like that's a mais non, not a mais oui. So instead, I'm going to be taking advantage of garlic confit. I have a short that I've done. You can see that right here. There's a short on how easy it is to make garlic confit. It's all hands off and it takes maybe an hour, but like I say, it's all hands off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in, I don't know, I'm feeling kind of festive today. I think I'm going to add in about 3 or 4 cloves of my garlic confit. Again, if you can handle and you want raw garlic, that's your choice. It's a free world. And maybe I'll just put in a little bit of that garlic confit oil as well because it's really delicious. We're gonna add that in. I'll put in a few cranks of pepper. Now, here's another thing about how personal this gets. I was hosting an online virtual experience for the people that are our newsletter subscribers. If you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter, it is free. It comes out every week. There's a link in the bottom of the show notes where you can sign up and join us if you'd ever like. But I was hosting this online holiday hangout, answering all of our newsletter subscribers' questions, and I was showing them the Fromage Fort as well. And I said, oh, I'm just gonna put in a little bit of pepper. And as I was grinding in the pepper, somebody on the Zoom call said, ooh, that's a lot of pepper. So you can see how personal this is. My little pepper was her lot of pepper. So you have to kind of gauge it as you would. Now, I have written out this recipe. That's linked in the show notes below as well. I'm going to just start this again. I'm going to let everything start to get together. And if you can still hear me, I'm going to pour in our white wine. You can see that it's starting to come together, so I'm just going to scrape down those sides. You can smell it already. It smells garlicky, it smells cheesy. I can smell that white wine coming through. You want to use a dry white wine, something like a Pinot Grigio or an unoaked Chardonnay, or even a Sauvignon Blanc will do. I'm going to give this a couple more cranks of black pepper, because clearly I like black pepper, as we've already established. And I'm just going to let this whiz around one or two more times. I think that should do it. So you can see I still have some white wine left in my measuring cup. I didn't need it all. That's where I'm saying you can follow the recipe. And as I said, there's the recipe linked below, but you're going to have to use your own sort of kitchen whimsy to get you through this one. But it is worth it, I promise. For me, this is the right texture. It's smooth, but not too smooth. And it's still got some rusticity, but there's also a definite spreadability, but it's not just the consistency of cream. We've got some gravitas here. So that's what I'm really looking for, and that's what I'm quite excited to see. And of course, you can make as much or as little as you'd like, depending on how many people you have coming over, depending on how much cheese you have left over. Here's the final thing. If you have herbs lying around, you can use whatever herbs you've got. And if you don't have them, you don't have to use them, but you can certainly use dill, chives, you can use a little bit of basil if you feel like it, you could use some rosemary, it's all up for grabs. I've got some chives here, so I'm gonna mix those into my cheese mixture here. And if you didn't happen to have any of that triple creme, brie, camemberts, even a goat cheese, a soft goat cheese, what you can do is you can add in butter and then mix butter into your harder cheeses to get the consistency that you'd like. So once it's all mixed in, serve it on toasts. Some people even broil this a little bit. I don't, but I have a little toast right here. I'll take just a little bite so I don't talk with my mouth full. I'm gonna be finishing off this whole bowl by myself. I'm a little bit scared. Things are gonna get ugly as soon as this camera gets off. That, guys, is super simple Fromage Fort. You throw your extra cheese into a food processor, you add in some garlic, some white wine, some butter if you need it, if you don't have the triple creme, some pepper and some herbs if you'd like, and that's it. You put it in a bowl and watch it disappear. It is absolutely one of my favorite party tricks of all time. You're gonna love it. You're gonna wanna serve it all year round, not just during the holidays. That's delicious. I'm gonna go back and have some more. All right, friends, my name's Erin. This is the Wine Sisters. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, of course, leave them in the comments below, and I promise I will get back to you as soon as I see them. Also, don't forget, in the show notes below, we have links to our newsletter where you can sign up for free. We have links to our Instagram where you can follow us there for daily inspiration. And if you would like to, please consider liking this video and hitting subscribe so you will be alerted to when we drop a new video and we can hang out again. So until next week, friends, stay well. Merry Christmas.